Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am back. Yes, there has been a game. We lost to Nottingham Forest. I've been sick with the flu. That's the reason why I haven't been able to make videos. My voice certainly is not 100% correct, but I'm still recovering, still have a cough here and there. But I'm back. We are back, of course, in the Premier League. This is your Manchester Derby preview, but a lot of things has happened. And let's forget about the transfer rumors first of all, because that certainly is not that important right now because it's just rumors. There's nothing concrete, and if there certainly does seem something that comes through that is concrete by Fabrizio, David Ornstein, Laurie Whitwell, etc., then we certainly will talk about it. But it's all about the Manchester Derby this weekend. It certainly is the highlighted game. Of course, Amorim versus Pep, put your comparisons, put your one-on-one duels up there. It doesn't matter. It's Manchester United versus Manchester City. It is a huge game, but more so for Manchester United, I would say. Um, it's been kind of crazy for Manchester United with how things are. A lot of pressure is, of course, on the club. Certain things have been going down behind the scenes. The under 18s, did not progress to the FA Youth Cup final after losing on penalties to Aston Villa. Just another thing on the side that I'm mentioning because these are the things that happened while I was not able to make videos. But we know what Manchester City are going to bring at us. We saw how we can play against the bigger teams. Of course, Ahmad scoring the winner that he did at the Etihad. This is an opportunity for us to get a double over City, which was last done, I think, by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was the only manager that was able to get, one over Pep Guardiola every time Manchester United played Manchester City. But City are not what they used to be. Their team is kind of falling apart, if I have to put it that way. But it's not to say that they are a bad team. They're just not as good as what we know they can be. And that's simply because some of the players are, kind of reaching the ages now where they're slowing down. I mean, Bernardo Silva was questioned about it, and said, who's old? They're only 30, 31, 32, I think he took offense in what was said about Manchester City's team. But regardless of that, Kevin De Bruyne came out saying that he's leaving Manchester City at the end of the season, and of course, he has been one of their best players, if not their best player. They might be without Haaland, this weekend against us. Of course, they have Omar Marmoush. We know his qualities. We've seen what he can do. We know what Doku can do. Grealish scored a goal, after a couple years. It's just a City team that we know what to expect from them. We're playing at Old Trafford. We're playing at home. The onus and the pressure will be on us to turn up. And we've done that this season against big teams, Arsenal, Liverpool, City, with Ahmad scoring the winner, as I just said earlier. So we are not completely incapable of getting a win, especially at Old Trafford. Amorim certainly said in the press conference that he's in a rush to get Manchester United back to where it needs to be. He doesn't want to be that coach or the guy that speaks about he needs years and in 4 years' time he's going to be challenging for the Premier League. No, because anything can happen. He's focused on the now. He's focused on doing what needs to be done now, even if it means us suffering like we are doing, losing games in the Premier League. We probably won't get anywhere near the top half of the table this season, and therefore that's why the Europa League has become important for so many different reasons. Forget about the finances of the Champions League, forget about us actually being in the Champions League. It has so many different connotations as to what can happen for the betterment of Manchester United if we win the Europa League. But confidence for that will easily be taken away if we certainly don't turn up and put in a performance against Manchester City. We need to use these games, the Premier League games especially, to get momentum, to get rhythm, to get that winning feeling within the team in order for us to be ready for the Europa League games. It's only the quarter semis and then the final. You look at it, I think it's like what, 5 games, home and away for the quarter final and semi final, and of course the final. It's 5 games, but anything can happen in those 5 games. So for us to be physically ready, mentally ready, let's have good performances in the Premier League. That certainly will be good for us. And against a team like Manchester City, who we should have confidence against because we won them in the first half of the season, because our players are improving, We have Dogu now. We didn't have a proper left wing back when we won Manchester City at the Etihad. You know, Ahmad was playing right wing back that game and was quite excellent. And of course, Amarim, would perhaps maybe need or want Ahmad back for this game, but that doesn't matter. The team that Amarim can go with is capable and strong enough to put in a good performance and get a win against Manchester City. Onana, of course, will be in goal. I don't think there's any debate about that. The back three I would go with. I think Masraoui needs to go to right centre back where he's done well. Should play there. De Ligt at centre back. And of course, Yoro at left centre back, who is of course growing as a Manchester United player. He is improving. He's becoming much more physical in his duels. Very, very good in his recovery tackles, as we saw with that chance that Ilanga had in the second half, and he made an excellent tackle, which we know he can do, and therefore should continue to play and start at the left centre back position. Dogu, of course, left wing back, Delo, right wing back, because who else is going to play there? Unless, of course, he gives Bentito Mantato, a debut, at Old Trafford at right wing back, maybe because he's more likely to play there than what it is in the number 10 role. We've seen his performances for the under 18s and the under 21s. He has signed his first professional contract. So maybe, who knows? We'll see. These are the moments that these young players crave for, and maybe Amorim, will trust him and try him in this game. We'll have to wait and see. In midfield, Casemiro, Ugarte, a bit of combativeness, as I said, City's midfield is not as young as they used to be. So Casemiro, Ugarte should be able to deal with what City's midfield are trying to do. They're not going to try and run through us. Those days are long gone of City having that type of midfield. There's no Rodri. De Bruyne is not looking himself. Kovacic, is a player, but of course is not what he once was. So we certainly can have a bit of bite and steal in that midfield with Casemiro and Ugarte. For me, the front three needs to be Bruno higher up the pitch. He's much more better, closer to the goal. So definitely should play in the left side at 10. Garnacho in the right side at 10, because on the left side, he just wants to cut in and shoot. And that kind of is detrimental to the team and how we want to play. On the right hand side, he simply knows he can only get the ball into the box, find an option, find a pass, and he should continue to play on the right hand side. And he will get these opportunities for goals, and let's hope that he can put them away, because we know what Garnacho is capable of, but he must improve. And of course, Højlund up front. Now I know Xerxes does well in the number 10 position, when we are trying to build up and have a bit of link-up play, going forward, he does well, but he doesn't have the pace. And in this particular game, with us having the ball, I want us to have good transitions with a Garnacho that can run, a Dogu, a Dalot, etc. that can run into space, and even Bruno can run beyond the striker. So that for me should be the team that Amorim must go with. Højlund certainly needs to be used in this game to get goals. We need goals. Where are we going to get goals from? I don't know. We're struggling to score goals, but the way we play is improving. The chances that we are creating are there. We just need to make better decisions in the final third, and then we will start seeing some goals. But it's all about the bragging rights on Sunday. It's all about Man United versus Manchester City, and we certainly have to win for confidence leading into the Europa League, and of course to show some real progression in terms of winning results on the pitch. So thank you for joining me in the video thus far. I do apologize for not being around. As I said, I was sick with the flu, still recovering, but here we are, and the Manchester Derby is here this weekend. Subscribe to the channel even if you haven't done so yet. I thank you for joining me and watching the video all the way until the end. Have a good weekend until we see each other again soon, Red Devils. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.